Good morning, happy Tuesday. My name is Nioka Lynn. So upon awakening this morning, I I heard a question and I was asked, what is strength? And I know the reason this was brought to my attention. For a week now, I can't help but notice all over online, in public, I can't help but notice that everybody feels as though physical force, violence, is the answer to anything. I can promise you it isn't. No, indeed. So I hear people say, well, they need to be shown. They need to be shown that I don't play. They need to be shown that if they mess around with me, it's not going to be pretty. Well, I can promise you that if you do that, if you hurt somebody with physical force, thinking this is your solution, that you're going to fix anything, first of all, what you put out comes back to you. So you got to ask yourself, is this something that I want to keep engaging into? So now, some people don't have a problem with that. Some people think that beating somebody up to prove a point makes them strong. No, it makes you very weak indeed. So you got to ask yourself, what is true strength? True strength is to not react in that manner. True strength is to, first of all, realize that's not going to solve anything. I had one young individual say, yeah, well, I'm going to prove my point, I'm going to show them it's not going to be pretty. Oh my God. I want to ask young people out there that have children, if you're angry enough, or even if you don't have children, but if you do, if you're so angry enough that you think that you're going to fix or solve a situation by being brutal, by beating somebody up, by proving how bad you are, your children are seeing this. What are you teaching them? My guess is if this is the way you have to handle things, you have a lot of unresolved issues within you. What you're doing is you're creating a cycle. Some people call it a generational curse, whatever. You're teaching your children this is how you handle a situation. And what this does by handling a situation in this manner creates more of the same type of situation in your life. So you have to ask yourself, is this something I just want to keep going through? I hear so many people say, oh, I just want my life to be normal. I just want peace in my life. I have no peace. Well, how do you handle life? Are you handling and showing up in your life in a peaceful manner? It matters. True strength, and I know this by experience, it's not striking out or having to go beat somebody up. Okay, true strength is stepping back and try to understand why the situation showed up in your life in the first place. I think it's important for people, even older people. I see older people my age handling situations the same way, and they're miserable. If you are miserable in your life, I don't care how old you are, ask yourself, why am I miserable? Why do these type of situations keep showing up in my life? I have people around me all the time that are pretty much barbaric. They think that brutal force is the key. It's not. It's not. And I will tell you, and I'm going to share this, the world right now is splitting in sections. You get to choose which one you want to live in, which one you'd like to partake in. So ask yourself, do I want to be miserable? Make excuses for my behaviors? blame everybody else around me, blame my situations and circumstances in my life for my behaviors? Do I want to live for the rest of my life miserable and making other people miserable because I'm miserable? Or have I had enough? Ask yourself, have I had enough of this mess? So that's why years ago I started working on me. I had enough of the mess. You know, when I was in my 20s and I saw what was going on around me, I didn't know how to handle it back then. I knew I wanted change. I knew I wanted change. I didn't know how to go about change. But I prayed and I asked God, Source, to help me because I sincerely wanted change. So if you're looking for change in your life, if you want some peace in your life, if you want to know what real love is in your life, you have to be that. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to go from one point to the other immediately. No. You don't have to dwindle in one place very long. I show up to this situation, I have this behavior. Because of this behavior, this shows up, and I keep getting more of the same. So maybe I want to examine my behavior. Take accountability. Take accountability. You create your own reality. You create your own reality on what you're focused on. Are you focused on the next fight? Are you focused on punishing somebody because you feel like they hurt you? Oh my goodness, the situations that I've been in. If I struck out in the wrong way, I'd probably be dead by now. Yeah. I'm sure of it. Yeah. So today, examine true strength. And when you hear somebody say, well, I'm just going to match energies, listen to that for a second. I'm going to match energies. So when this person shows up at my door or shows up in my life, they're acting a fool, okay, making all kind of threats or doing whatever, I'm going to show them the same behavior back. Well, first of all, you attracted that behavior some way. Whether it be to see if you've learned your lesson or if you're still in that cycle, you know. So matching energies, it's not smart. You attracted that energy. Yes, you attracted that energy in one way or another to see if you are going to react the same way. So when you match that energy, you've created a cycle. You're stuck in a loop. It just keeps happening. You're putting the little quarters in the little merry-go-round, and you're going round and round and round. After a while, you're going to get dizzy and sick. You're going to want to smash the horse. Don't fix it. Everything comes from you. Everything around you, you attract. Yeah, I don't, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. But it's true, one way or another. If you've been taught some things, and a situation shows up in your life, well, maybe it's to test to see, hey, you going to handle it right? To see if you really will. Yeah. Conditioning, training. Yeah. So before you make a statement of matching energies, you're setting yourself up for a rude awakening, a reckoning, if you will. Yeah. So again, ask yourself, if you have little children, big children, middle children, if you have children in your life, you love them, children. You want to see the best for them. The best. So you have to be strong. You have to be strong. They're going to mimic your behavior. well, you don't understand. This is how I handle things. My father handled things like this, and my mother and my grandmother. There you are, handling things like this. hmm You don't understand my life. I've had to fight my way through life. Well, maybe that was part of your conditioning to have a difficult life so you could transmute it. What do you mean transmute it? What are you talking about? That sounds crazy. Maybe in your bloodline, maybe you're saying, hey, it stops here. I've watched my family go through so many horrible, ridiculous things in life, fighting their way through things, you know, stabbing each other in the back, matching energies. Oh, well, you did this to me, well, I'm gonna go do this to you. There you go, in the loop. So maybe it stops with you. You gotta ask yourself, do I want to continue this? Do I want to continue this in my life? Do I want to pass this on to my son or my daughter who I just love and adore? You can buy them all the best sneakers and clothing and whatever. But if you're teaching them bad behavior, behaviors that don't serve them, behaviors that are going to put them in that loop, I got to share something. So, for a lot of years, I've been able to tap in, and I know a lot of people don't understand this, but it is what it is. So I've been able to tap into, I guess you call it the spirit realm. It's just a different dimensional kind of thing. Your loved ones are all around you all the time. So sometimes I tap in and I can hear them speaking, like people in comas. I can hear people speak when they're in coma. So one day, sitting in my chair after my prayer and meditation, I was just goofing around through my phone, and one of the ads had something about unsolved mysteries or murders or homicides and stuff. So it got my curiosity, so I looked on the website, and there was this one guy. I want to say he was in his 20s. He couldn't have been more than 23 or 24. And my eyes locked to his in the picture. And I looked, and in my mind, I asked, what happened to you? And I got this ever so like, oh, it was so-and-so. We had beef. So he told me the name of the guy that shot him. He was shot. And oh, we had beef. You know, I've come to realize that that's the attitude of a lot of people. Oh, well, those are my ops. And, it's me or them. Oh my God, come on, people. We can do better than this. Imagine living your life every day, having to look over your shoulder. You don't want to deal with your ops. You stay away from the ops, and when you see them, you have to kill them? What is that? Or kill their family? Oh my God. Is this who we've become? Is this what you want for your children? And then when your children learn those behaviors and maybe die? Oh my God. I don't know. I'm not big on violence. Not at all. It's not the way to handle things. So come on, people. We can be better humans. Ask yourself, do I want to continue to live this way? Don't you want peace and harmony? Don't you want better for your life? I know so many people who cry and they're miserable and they want better. But they continue the same behaviors, the same behaviors, the same behaviors. Nothing changes until you change it. You can pray till your kneecaps are gone. Until you change, nothing changes. remember, you emit a frequency. You can sit there and say, oh, that's ridiculous, but I can promise you, whatever you got going on in here and in here, there's plenty out there that are going to match it. And you're going to attract it. You attract where you're at. That's how you create your own reality. Does this mean you don't believe in God? That doesn't mean you don't believe in God. Jesus, Yeshua, came to teach this very thing. That's why they left little pieces in the scriptures. As a man thinketh, so is he. The power of life and death is in the tongue. It also says, ask and it is given. How? How is it given? Ask yourself. I know so many Christians, they ask and cry and they're all over the floor and everything else. Hey, if that's the way you want to pray, okay. But as soon as you ask, it is given. Everything is now. Everything that's ever created or will be created or ever created is now. It's different timelines. Sound ridiculous? It's true. You got to tap into that vibration. You've asked God for something. You're praying for something. You're praying for peace. You got to match that vibration. If you're looking for peace in your life, be peace. If you're looking for love in your life, be love. If you're looking for kindness and forgiveness, be that. If you don't want people to be dishonest with you, be honest. Yeah. What you put out comes back. And when you're working this, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, I've been doing this and I've been doing what you're saying, and now this situation showed up again. Well, it's going to. It's going to see if you've got it, if you pass this. Because once you pass this, you raise up. You jump timelines, which you're doing all the time anyway, but you jump a better timeline. That's a long story. But if you want peace in your life, get rid of the drama. If you want love in your life, get rid of the hatred. Get rid of the hatred and the disdain you have in your heart towards other people, whether they be a different skin color, religion, nationality, whatever. Get rid of that. If you want good things in your life, be good things. Examine your behaviors. It matters. I will never forget my oldest boy. He was 2. And he did something, whatever, and I just yelled at him. That's when I knew, right then and there. And he cried. He looked at me like I had lost my mind and I had just slaughtered him. And I just held him so tight because I knew I hurt his feelings. I scared him. That wasn't my normal behavior towards him. But I sounded just like what I was raised with. I knew then I got to do something because I got to switch this up. And back then I didn't know where to turn or how to handle things. And yes, I turned to religion. And yes, it served me. God can get you right where you're at. And I know a lot of people who say religion, they just, oh, well, God can get you wherever you're at. And yes, religion has been terribly distorted. Terribly distorted. But people are too afraid they're going to go to hell if they believe anything else. And I still love them. And they still look at me crooked. That's another strength, being able to stand in your own truth, no matter what people say or think or do. It can be a lonely road, but it's the best road. Listen, even if all you're doing is standing in your truth and being true to who you are, you're emitting a frequency. It's high frequency. You're doing all those people around you a justice. If you are in a pitch black room And all you do is strike one little match, there's a light. Be strong. Be strong in knowing that you don't have to beat people up to change the situation. You just cause more of the same. Be strong enough to get rid of belief systems and habits, everything that's not serving you. Be strong enough to show people around you there's a better way. And we can do this. Let's raise the vibration. My name's Nioka Lynn. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I will. Namaste.